All right, saying that we're live streaming. What's going on, guys? Been a few weeks. Life has hit me like a whirlwind. We'll have the boys join us soon. And NBA playoffs time. Crazy. I'm about to go to Portsmouth tomorrow. So I got travel plans that I got to deal with as I'm gonna go scout some guys. I have a scouting guy coming out. I got an interview I gotta upload. I got a lot of things going on in my life. Also doing PhD. I just applied to do my PhD. So life is gonna be busy, but we're still working in sports media, still covering, doing the things that we love. Let's talk about this NBA playoffs. Let me hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of the playoffs so far? Pretty cool run that we're having this year. I think this was a really fun year, fun season for anybody who's watching, I think, or listening. This was a definitely a different season. It didn't feel like there was an obvious favorite. I think the obvious favorite, if people had to put money, would be the Denver Nuggets because they've just been probably the most consistent team in the league. But I'm fairly confident that it's still up to anybody to win this. And that's the crazy part about this is it's really feels like for the first time in my lifetime that we have an NBA that's a lot of parity. I mean, my lifetime, that probably in the 2000s we had a similar showing of talent, but I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion. We'll talk about what we think is going to happen, et cetera, X, Y, and Z. But I think for me the most interesting when we look at this play in with the Hawks, the Pelicans, the Bulls, the Lakers, the Sixers, the Heat, all in the play in, it's going to make this a very interesting tournament. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the odds are, but we're going to get into our predictions when we get there. It's right now, if you guys are unaware, we have the seventh seed New Orleans Pelicans are playing the eighth seed Los Angeles Lakers. The winner of that will be playing the number one seed Oklahoma. I mean, number two seed Denver Nuggets. I've you all hear my takes on that one later. The 10th seed Golden State Warriors are playing the ninth seed Sacramento Kings. They'll play the loser of the Pelicans Lakers game. And then over on the east side, you have the seventh seed Philadelphia 76ers playing the eighth seed Miami Heat. Winner of that will play the second seed New York Knicks, while the 10th seed Atlanta Hawks are playing the ninth seed Chicago Bulls. And the winner of that will play the loser of the Sixers Heat to face the Boston Celtics. Now that's where it definitely gets all hot and dandy with how's that going to go? I'm I'm curious because I think for the first time in a while, there's just so much parity and so much openness in the NBA that it's anybody's game. And that's the best part about this. I think when we look at we we're not at this point where it feels like we don't know who's going to win or who's going to play well, but we're at a point where I think this could be one of the best playoff basketball experiences of my life in the last 5-10 years because it's wide open. Hello, Jackson. How you
Hello,
doing?
hello,
Good.
hello, hello.
How you been?
Good, how are you?
Good. What have you been up to?
Oh, nothing much.
You gonna come over to the west side? I mean, east side.
Eventually, I got a couple cards for you.
What do you mean?
I got a couple basketball cards for you.
Oh yeah, I saw that you sent that in the group chat. Well, thank you for that.
Oh, yeah. Joshua George in the chat.
All right. So let's before we'll see if we'll give it 5-10 minutes to see if Luke or Henry joins us. But what I wanted to do is let me pin you right here. Did I get you pinned? Yeah, we're both pinned. Okay, bet. So the way I wanted to do this was let's look at the season in review. We're gonna look at before we do our predictions for the play-in, and I want to look at the NBA standings. Which team? I'm gonna read you off this first six seeds because those are the in the East, and then we'll do the West. Which of these teams surprised you the most? And maybe give me a short little why. Celtics are the one, Knicks are the two, Bucks are the three, Cavs are the four, Magic are the five, the Pacers are the six.
X-tape too.
I think the
Indiana and Orlando being in there are nice. Knicks,
like you
but
go
what were the Knicks last year? Four or were they five? I feel like they were five,
last.
right?
I'll give you 5 star. They were, yes, you're right, five, and they were
It's
40. They improved by 3 wins.
it's crazy that they did this with an injured Orange Julius. Oh, what is that? Is that orange
Uh,
juice?
Mango
Oh, that would
smoothie
have been perfect.
would have been.
Knicks tape 2 seed, man. They traded RJ Barrett.
I know, I
Julius
know.
Randle's been injured. It's insane, actually. Like the 2 seed. Jeez.
Well, I think the Celtics are the least frightening 1 seed we've ever had. There are
I don't know
64.
why people say that. I think the Celtics are a great
No, so
basketball
do I.
team.
So do I. No, I'm not disparaging the Boston Celtics. What I'm
If
saying
anything, I'm
is
going OKC.
I agree with that. That's a great take. And I've been saying that actually I've been saying that the teams in the play-in rather play the first seed than the second seed. Like the Lakers rather lose against the Pelicans and then play against the Thunder than win and go against the Nuggets.
Yeah, for real.
But no, I agree. The media though is making it out like the Celtics are like a fugazi 64 win team, and I personally believe it's going to be Boston Celtics versus somebody in the conference finals. I'm fully convinced that. If I had to put money right now, it's the Miami Heat. If not, it's going to be the New York Knicks. But
Jeez.
I think my biggest surprise is people not giving the Celtics the benefit of the doubt, or not the benefit of the doubt, like not giving them their flowers. And besides that, I think the Pacers. I thought they were going to be a team that slipped into play-in and wasn't going to be able to get out of play-in like purgatory, but they've done a good job of not like they rebounded well, and I thought the Pacers were a good team right there in terms. I thought they were going to be where like the Sixers or the Bulls were. Also, Bulls were another one. They really turned their season around.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No Levine. The
yeah,
Pacers are that Siakam trade was badass. And because they started the season like it, and then
then
they
they
trade
went
for
down.
Siakam, and it's like, oh wow, they're really making a move for this. So I mean, Knicks tape being two, Boston, I think is such a great team. I would be so surprised if they weren't in the finals. I I don't trust New York without Randall, but I mean, I guess Randall in the playoffs, Knicks fans might even be a little bit more excited right now. So Indiana, though, just what a cool story, and obviously Orlando is pretty undercovered basketball program. So
No,
good
no,
for you guys too.
I agree. Knicks is some of the inexperience, and I agree. I think it's the Celtics, and if it's not, it's the Heat meeting them there. If we go over to the Western
That's
Conference,
crazy. Talk to me. I'd go Milwaukee over
I
Miami
Giannis is
any day
hurt.
of the
Giannis
week.
is hurt, and they have a losing record under Doc Rivers. Well,
Yeah, but still, I get it though.
yeah. All right, so let's go to the Western Conference. We got Thunder 1, Nuggets are 2, Timberwolves are 3, 4 Clippers, 5 are Mavs, 6 are Suns. I think the most surprising for me is I would say probably the Mavs turnaround after the trade deadline and All-Star break.
What was their record? I mean, they weren't that bad.
They weren't bad, but like they just fucking killed it. I mean, well,
Yeah, they got really hot.
you got any other surprising ones on the West? Or you
Well,
not
I mean,
surprised? The West isn't as surprising. Like OKC being great, yeah.
OKC being one is just nuts. I think Minnesota at three is pretty nuts too. That
But like
just like
there
actually
was
came to
foreshadowing.
fruition.
Yeah,
But last year was bad. I mean, it was bad last year. So I would say OKC just actually being the first seed, and then obviously the Clippers and Mavs had great seasons. I'm a little impressed by Phoenix being able to snag that 6 seed, but um, really disappointing in the Pelicans, Lakers, Kings, Warriors. But what else can you really do? I mean, these are Pelicans won 49 games. Like I mean, I guess what more could you do? You could win one more and win 50 games and then have the sixth seed. So fuck, but those are four really good basketball teams, and two of them are gonna miss it.
No, I agree. I agree with all that. But let's do some before we do some predictions. Let's do some little housekeeping news. Coaching wise, okay, like just like off the court wise, we're hearing the Hornets have interviewed Jerry Stackhouse, who was recently the Vanderbilt head coach, and he was also the G League Coach of the Year for the Toronto's 905 when they had that like Raptors mob, like the bench mob. You remember that? He was like credited for developing them. Jordan Ott was with the Lakers for the last 2 years. He's still with them. He was with the Nets before that, and then they've also interviewed Jim Laranaga's son, Jay Laranega, David Aldman, who's all like the famous Aldman son, Jordy Fernandez, who's almost a doctor. I personally think it's going to be Charles Lee because of the Atlanta Hawks connection there, but that's basically all for. And Royal Ivy was the other one they reported who was interviewed going for the Hornets. Now going over to the Nets, Mike Budenholzer, Jordy Fernandez, and Kevin Young are the three finalists that met with Joe Tsai over the weekend for the Brooklyn Nets head coach job. Jordy Fernandez and Kevin Young, I think, are going to be the choices if they want to continue the rebuild. If they want to win now, because like think about it, they have Mikal Bridges, a bunch of draft picks, some good players on the team. I think they go Bud. I personally would go Bud.
They have a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah, they got him from the trade for Kevin Durant and Kyrie. I mean, a bunch, but they aren't depleted like they were when they traded for James Harden. And so I think Bud, if they take Bud, it's because of the Sean Marks Spurs connection and they want to compete by next year. Jordy Fernandez and Kevin Young, I think, is if they're going to go with a more patient approach. Now moving over to the Clippers. Kai Jones signed with the Clippers. They waived Josh Primo.
Go Life.
Yeah.
Josh Primo was rostered that whole time.
Yeah, Josh Primo was on a 2-year deal or something, a multi-year deal. So basically I think Josh Primo got hurt and
oh my God, dude, I'm mistaken. Josh Primo.
And then Kai Jones will be eligible to play in the playoffs. Jones was waived by the Hornets at the start of the season. He signed a 10-day contract with the 76ers in March, but did not appear in a game. He appeared in 2 G League games where he put up 11 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2.5 steals, and a block. While Primo appeared in 2 NBA games and played in 35 G League games before suffering a season-ending ankle injury.
Who was the guy who
showed his dong? Primo.
So he's back in the league?
Yeah, he had therapy and he was back in the league at the beginning of the season.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So then the last one, our man Usman Garuba going to be playing playoff basketball. His two-way got converted for the Warriors. He's on a two-way all season with the Warriors. He played 5 NBA games, but in the G League, he averaged 12.5 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. Again, these guys aren't going to do anything. They're just, you remember like Anthony Lamb at the end of the season, they throw these motherfuckers on the roster. And the last sort of housekeeping we have is the Pistons may hire a president of basketball operations after they haven't had one since 2018. Monty Williams is returning next season, and he's at he completed the first year of that 8-year historically rich $100 million deal. It's unclear if Troy Weaver is going to be here, but seemingly they're going to hire a president of basketball operation who's going to have final say.
I think he got fired. Troy Weaver.
You got to fire him. Oh, your boy Matt.
Troy Weaver was a genius 2 years ago.
I've always thought he was so. I don't know if he's done the best. I think they were just hoping they were getting like the Black Sam Presti, and that just didn't happen. And other news, Matt Ryan got converted to a standard contract, and Ricky Hansel IV got converted. Oh, by the way, I want to hear your thoughts, Jackson. Jonte Porter is now being investigated by the Colorado Division of Gaming. Supposedly, he had a $2 million. He was betting $2 million on himself up to. Yeah. And have you seen his Twitter account that he was giving out stock advice, like financial advice and like game bets? Yeah. He has like a Discord. Guy loves the.
He's done. He's done for sure.
What's the word, Adam? Banished? I love that's a great word.
I mean, he is done. He's done.
He's getting banished.
It's pretty obvious at this point.
Isn't he the brother of Michael
Porter? Yeah. Well, the whole thing is like they come from They look alike, but not the whole thing is you have to think about it. I said someone did the math. Holy fuck, someone did the math. If he was doing it the way I think it's like 20 G's, like a certain bet or like certain game, dude, through 10 games, you could have been clearing like over quarter mil, like just in betting, like not even playing. Like, I mean, prop bet shouldn't be a thing. This is like, I mean, I'm not into betting. I think it's
So
like,
he's a genius.
How is he not gonna just bet and then go out and try to go ham and put up a bunch of numbers and hit his overs? Why would he?
because it's
Choosing his unders
stupid.
is so foolish. Yeah, he is
No,
stupid. That's
no,
ridiculous.
no, you're stupid because you want to hit the unders. You're a bench player. I'm not going to play. So, like, I'm putting the under. So, it's more likely for me to hit the under than to be able to go off. And, like, it's less suspicious.
You know,
Fuck no, it's not less suspicious. He can go out. He controls his own usage. This is
he
way more
No, he
suspicious.
doesn't
Clearly,
control his usage. He was on a 2-way contract, bro. He's barely playing NBA game.
You have more control over the under than you do the over. It's
Thank
way
you, Luke.
easier to hit the under.
It's
All right.
it's fucking common sense. Like,
right, well, I'm just saying
go
he's
out or go
stupid.
over.
All right, but he is stupid for going the
No,
under.
he
He's
is.
gonna get
It's
banned
stupid
from the
to
league.
bet on the games, but dude, it's like it's easier.
Always go under. Always go under.
Always
It's
go
the-
under.
always
I
bet
can-
the over.
It's way easier to whiff a shot than to make a shot.
It's way easier to play bad than good. It's the
Yeah,
It's
key
way
literally.
easier. It's way easier to get caught playing bad and leaving early than it is shot.
No,
Yeah,
it's-
but it could also just be a bad game.
But also, it's way harder to get caught playing bad when you don't play and you're on a 2-way contract. They just
Like,
think you're a scrub
Dude,
at that point.
everybody who match fixes and bets on themselves pretty much bets the under.
Yeah.
I
Easier.
had him in fantasy. for a
Jonte
little
Porter
bit.
should have changed the game and bet his overs and gone out and gone crazy.
Well, he
But
was really
wasn't
good.
hitting overs. You know what happened?
He can pass. He can do a
Henry,
little
you
bit
know
of
what
everything.
happened if he didn't hit his overs? Kneecaps.
What do you mean?
Like the people
that like
who money for.
Oh, so listen to this. While we're on this betting, so one of my favorites, the first Leave Schreiber, the actor.
Yeah.
Leave
Ray
Schreiber, he's the voice of HBO Sports, if you guys didn't know that. And in his first documentary that he did for them, it's uncredited, but you can tell it's Leaf Schreiber because like you hear him. It's about the CCNY 1955 basketball gambling scandal that like it happened in 55, but it did, or 51, but it didn't get leaked until 55, 56 when the guys were in the NBA. So like the first 5 drafts had like several guys get banned who were top picks because they were implicit in this scandal of point shaving and like prop bets.
CCNY was insane.
Yeah, and they were insane. And what I'm getting at is they were talking about how back at the Garden in those days, though, because gambling was so rampant, you'd be at a game and they'd be like, "Hey, Scotty, you're 5 over. You can't bet for us." And like literally the whole like Garden would like erupt in like laughter, and like people would be like hearing like people yelling to the players how like what to do so they could hit their bets. And it was like so bad and like so rampant at like in the 50s and 60s that like if you were at a game like at Madison Square Garden or like the Forum where there was like a big pot like LA, New York, you would just hear blatant gambling and players literally obliging to the crowd's like cries to hit like the overs or unders for them and shit like that. And like,
It's like Buddy
because
Hield.
well, the whole thing is because like they knew that if they didn't do it, they were going to be fucking mobbed.
Yeah, because they knew like if I don't hit the under for my points, my kneecaps are gone.
Yeah, and like they're like legitimately, and like half the time they were getting paid off because they're getting more money from the mobsters.
Then because shitty NBA
contracts.
salaries in the 50s.
Yeah,
That's when
So-
basketball was pure.
So the whole thing going back, like now that you're seeing all these articles about fan experience players like complaining like about like how terrible it just I think we're like holy fuck we're like reverting back to like this 50s 60s mantra where people are like fucking like it's just
God damn it, you weren't supposed to cover.
the whole point that I don't get before we move ahead to our predictions, guys, because obviously like I used to bet, but like I don't have I never got like the like to me betting isn't like that my bag. So like something that I find fulfilling because I don't like wasting money like that. But my thought is it's not. It's just that I don't get through. It's not.
Maybe
a thrill
maybe
for
you're
me.
just a bad gambler.
No, it's just like I don't get a thrill.
He is.
I get.
He
Oh,
is.
I think it might just be a bad better, man. I don't know.
Jackson,
I mean,
it's a skill issue. Skill issue,
It's a
Jackson.
skill issue to me.
But for me, the whole thing I'm getting at is, are we, as I don't understand why people get mad and then blame players for losing their money. That was your choice to
I don't
make that
think
Oh
play.
yeah, dog.
think
That's
that's
like,
real.
I do it
That's a big
jokingly.
complaint.
I do it
No,
jokingly.
I know,
but
like
to seriously get mad about that
at the games where they're saying where people will accost them in public, like they'll be at a restaurant and someone will come up to you like, you lot maybe lose 2,000. No,
but
you
like
didn't.
some of that's jokingly, but some of it's not, which is just stupid. Like, dog, what do
Well,
you
there's
think?
like, yeah, like where like I think a quarter of it's not jokingly, and like legit people are like,
Dog, you shouldn't have. Like, what do you mean? You're the one who put the money down, bro. Like,
yeah. I have no
it's-
problem betting. Like if I like in a few years, if like I maybe if I'm planning a long vacation, I'm going to like Monaco. I'm going to save up maybe a grand or two on the side that when I go to Monaco, I don't feel bad blowing. But I'm not the type of person that I'm like on the weekend, let's go to Hollywood Casino and just fucking play blackjack because that's like not fun to me.
yeah, blackjack's fun, but yeah, I get it. It's not for everybody.
That's just like first off a lot of time just sitting there.
What about throwing 10 grand on a random?
What about playing craps, man?
Baseball
Craps is
bet.
the best.
I will do craps. Everyone's told me that's a group thing though. Craps is
It
a
is.
group
It's
thing.
a group thing. It's
It's
the
a
best.
group
It's
thing.
the best casino game because it's the
And like
most
you
fun.
you can set each other up and ride off of each other.
Yeah.
So like
everybody's eating. Everyone's eating.
everybody's eating. So like
Unless there's a guy
I do
who's
want to
being an
learn how to
asshole.
play craps. I've been told if you go on boys gambling trips to casinos, craps is
That's
the
what you
game
play.
to
That's what you
pool
play.
your
'cause
money
then
together, and then like you just
everybody's on the table.
That's all. Okay, let's go over to our play-in. So we got ourselves 4 playing games going in. We'll start with obviously with the eighth seeds and with the 8th and 7th seed matchups, which are going to be first, and that is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Pelicans. Pelicans at the 7th seed, so the 76ers, 8th seed of the Heat and Lakers. In the Pelicans Lakers case, the first seed is the Thunder, second seed is the Nuggets. Winner of this game would go ahead and play the Nuggets. Loser would play the winner of the Warriors Kings. I personally believe that the Lakers actually want to lose this game, and
Yeah, they don't want to win. They don't want to play the Nuggets.
they want to play the Thunder because it's year-to-year matchup. And actually, I think the Pelicans are a better matchup against the Nuggets than the Lakers because Zion, Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, CJ McCollum. I think CJ McCollum is going to give Jamal Murray trouble. I think Zion and Brandon Ingram can give Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon trouble. And Jonas Valanciunas and Larry Nance, I think, are a decent, formidable foe to Jokic. So I really would not be surprised if the Lakers kind of purposely maybe not try as hard as they should against the Pelicans so they can play the Thunder, because I think they
but on the flip side of that, sorry, like you said, like the problem with losing the first game is then you have to win the second game.
Yes.
So like you can't just straight up throw, but like you are thinking about those matchups. Like the Sixers probably want, like the Sixers and the Heat definitely want to win because they want to play the Knicks.
Yeah.
So they can't purposely lose, even though none of them wants to play Boston.
No, I completely agree.
That's a really interesting trade-off. Would we rather risk missing the playoffs than lose to Denver first round?
And I think every team's answer is no, because you got to make the playoffs.
I think and the other thing is that
I agree.
they're obviously playing the Warriors because the Kings are depleted.
I don't know, man.
They don't have Malik Monk. They don't have Kevin Herter. They're
the King, but it's not obvious.
But like Golden State Warriors, every single time lose to the Sacramento Kings in overtime. Every single time.
But Trace Jackson Davis and Draymond Green are like both like almost averaging double-digit rebounds of the like. And they're okay. So the Warriors are the number 1 rebounding team in the NBA, while the Kings are like the 12th or 13th rebounding team. Also, the Kings are missing. Kings are missing right now about 30 points scoring from their lineup, and their best bench scorers right now. Though. I'm just saying their best bench scorers right now are Davion Mitchell and Trey Lyles. That's the
which is not inspiring.
About time that Davion Mitchell finally got a.
Yes, he is clipping. He is clipping to close off the year.
But like, dude,
every regular season game,
the Kings are beaten up.
But the Golden State loses every single time
Wiggins
in overtime.
Killing it.
But this is the Golden State.
This is the playoffs.
This is the playoffs.
And they're gonna play. I wonder. You know what? That's gonna be a really interesting game. I wonder what Sacramento does because
I really hope Sacramento
Draymond's. Well, because if they're gonna play Sabonis like they did last year, and just let him shoot. What if Sabonis careers it and goes
I hope
like
so.
13 of 17,
I hope so.
drops 38?
I just don't see it.
That's how they're gonna have to win this game. It's gonna
without
take
Monk and Herter,
a huge
dude.
effort from him.
I just don't.
Monk and Herter. Like
yeah,
that's just
like I think if the Kings weren't as beaten up, I just literally the Kings have 5-6 dudes they're playing.
like Cyro, you already said it. That's 2 15-point per game scores gone out of the lineup. Like
replaced by Trey Lyles and Davion Mitchell.
Hey man, Trey Lyles.
And they don't. And their backup
That's not
center,
confidence.
they don't really have a backup center either. Behind
does
DeMontis
not inspire
Sabonis,
confidence.
it's
Trey
JaVale
Lyles.
McGee. JaVale McGee and Trey Lyles are your backup fives.
Vale has plenty of scouting experience.
I would love
against
for the
Golden
Kings to
State.
do something special here, but I just don't see it. Just don't see it.
My biggest fear is Lakers Warriors lose, and now I gotta watch the Kings and Pelicans in the
That's what I
have
want.
fun in the playoffs. Well, not because I don't want to see either of those two teams in the playoffs, but I pick your poison. I don't want LeBron versus Steph. Loser goes home.
No, but that's like what the ideal scenario is.
No, it's not though.
That means it's an electric game.
No.
And then Steph gets to go home and the Warriors bum ass can leave and the Lakers
I don't
The
feel
Warriors
confident against going out. I don't feel confident right now because AD Davis didn't play last week. I don't feel all that confident with Steph's track record against Go James.
So the Warriors,
But that could go both ways.
Have been a top 8 offense per cleaning the glass per 100% points per 100 possessions, while they've been the 12th best defense per 100. 100 points allowed points allowed per
100 possessions.
Yeah, I'm like fucking
Yeah,
blanking.
yeah.
I was doing off the dome. I usually read it. So right now they've actually been one of the hotter teams, while the Kings have been closer to 20 in both of their stats. And
Both BOAF.
The Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, people don't realize, has actually been really consistent to close out the year, to the point that their starting lineup now is Trace Jackson Davis, Draymond Green, Wiggins, Thompson, not Chris Paul, Steph Curry. Then 6-man is Chris Paul, Jonathan Kuminga, B-Pod, and then you still have Darius Saric, Kevon Looney, Gary Payne II.
Like they're on a heater, man. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. Like
I just
they're playing good ball.
I really think it's
they'll
going to
both
be the
win.
Warriors.
I think Lakers and Warriors both win. I actually don't think the Lakers are that afraid of Denver, because I think if you're gonna have to play Denver regardless at some point in the playoffs if
and
you
like
want
the
to make
Lakers
the
know
finals.
they need to win. They know they need to win to get in the playoffs.
I
Like
agree
nothing
with that.
else matters. So I'd say Lakers probably win. Yeah, I agree with Jackson, and I think I agree with Jackson that the Warriors are probably going to win too. As much as that pains me to say that.
Okay,
You should be happy.
so let's go over to the East side, and like Luke previously mentioned, both teams want to play the Knicks in the Heat Sixers game. A lot of people are probably going to put their money on the Heat. But the thing is with this, I think the Philadelphia 76ers actually want to play the Boston Celtics, because even though Nick Nurse has gotten Joel Embiid back, the reason why they would want to play the Boston Celtics.
What happened the last 6 times?
Let me just say this. The reason why they want to play the Boston Celtics is that if they do lose in the first round, they can blame it that they played the Boston Celtics and on Joel Embiid's knee injury and say this was just a lost season.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I guess from that point of view, yeah, I guess it looks better to lose to the Celtics.
It looks better to lose to the Celtics in the first round than it does to the Knicks.
Dog, they've lost the Celtics like the last 5 times or whatever the fuck.
I know,
like,
I agree.
We always beat them in the playoffs. They do not want any part of us. They would honestly, like, they need to win this game. They need to win this game because, like, the Heat, I have confidence in the Heat that the Heat could beat the Celtics in the first round because they beat the Celtics as an 8 seed before, even though it wasn't in the first round. But I don't have confidence in the Sixers because they haven't showed me anything. So as a Celtics fan, I'd much rather play Philly than play Miami. I don't want any part of the Heat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And also, I think the Heat are going to win anyway.
Also, the Heat are so deep. I was talking about this.
The Heat are going to win anyway. So like, it doesn't matter. The Heat win, and then Sixers win. So we play the Sixers, and the Heat play the Knicks. That's my pick.
I think also with the Hawks and Bulls, I was looking at this. The Hawks and Bulls, this is going to be one of the toughest games to figure out who the hell is, because the Hawks, first off, there's like the Bulls, the first off, Bulls are middle of the pack in terms of
the Bulls know where they are.
Let me put it this way. Yes, the Hawks are without 2 scorers in DeAndre Hunter and I believe no Onyeka Okongwu, but who else? Not DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, and
Jalen Johnson's out.
yeah, Jalen Johnson's out with an ankle sprain.
Officially?
Yeah.
Dude,
He's out for like 6 weeks, guys. He's out like this was announced a week ago that he was out for a fucking month.
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
I would never fade Kobe White. Check.
Well, the whole thing is when you look at this team, the Bulls have Vooch, Kobe White, and DeMar DeRozan, Caruso, and then Javon Carter, Andre Drummond, Torrey Craig, and that's pretty much the rotation of like consistent players they've been playing for over the last month to close out the season. And then if you looked at the Hawks, the interesting part is you would say size and experience, the Bulls edge out the Hawks on that one, but the Hawks are arguably one of the most potent and like volatile. Like they have DeJounte Murray and Trae Young.
They've come back from 30 points down against
I was
Boston.
literally exactly that. And
Chicago
right
can't do
now,
that.
Chicago
Wow.
to close out the season, the Hawks points differential, they were one of the worst teams in the last 2 weeks, while Chicago was 15, significantly better, both their offense and defense, while Atlanta kind of struggled. But Atlanta had been without Trae Young during that spot, and Trae Young has came back. And on the season, if you look at the numbers, Atlanta's offense is significantly better than Chicago's. And Atlanta's and Chicago's defense are almost identical, while Atlanta is, I believe, the better rebounding team out of the two. So you think about it, though, Kobe White, Caruso, Javon Carter are going to be going up against Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and Bogdanovich, while you also have DeAndre Hunter. It's going to be interesting who's going to be playing power forward.
Trae Young carries. Trae Young carries the Hawks to the dub here, but it's irrelevant because whoever wins this game is done and they're losing.
Wow.
Done, yeah.
Wow.
I just think this is a very much.
I'd like to see the Bulls.
I think if the Bulls can stop the Hawks from shooting threes, then it could be be
Yeah.
anyone. The whole thing is the Hawks don't have a bench.
Yeah,
Like-
if Trae Young is a superhuman, then it's over. But
Like or DeJounte Murray. And like the
yeah,
thing
or
is
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray and Trae Young can go to higher levels than any of the Bulls players can. But the Bulls
think
players
the-
have more
But
consistent.
there is a world where DeJounte Murray and Trae Young combine for 60 points and they lose. So
Yes.
I think they'll let Trae Young have his way and let the whole team beat him.
I just
And I
don't
don't think that
I
they
just
can
don't
beat 'em.
see I just don't see either of these teams doing anything in the next round. But like
Drummond's
the Hawks,
probably
I guess
going 20
Last time
Hawks
they
have a high-
played, Hawks won 113 101.
Yeah, and it was a horrible. It was terrible, and they were not even
Hawks have a higher
close.
ceiling.
I don't think Trae Young played in that game, and it was a horrible. It was terrible.
Well, the whole problem is what is the Hawks bench going to look like, especially with Jalen Johnson being hurt? Over the last few games, they've been running, Clint Capella, DeJounte Murray, Bogdanovich, DeAndre Hunter, and they've been having in the starting lineup Bogdan in the starting lineup with Trae Young, and then DeAndre Hunter playing power forward, which means their bench has been Bruno Fernando, Garrison Matthews, and Kobe Buffkin.
that is
For the
not
sake-
exactly inspiring.
for the
That is
sake of
not
first-
inspiring.
For the sake of first round television, the Bulls need to win.
No, the Bulls are so boring though. Trae
Dude,
Young's
I'd rather
great.
see the
Ever
Hawks.
cared about
I'd
the
rather
Atlanta
see Hawks
Sorry.
Celtics.
Same.
I'd rather see
Sorry,
Hawks
Aaron.
Seahawks
Celtics.
Celtics.
As a neutral fan, I'd rather see
Damn.
Hawks Celtics.
You guys are
But-
both wrong.
I obviously would rather see the Bulls because I think we have a better chance of beating the Bulls than the Hawks.
I don't
but-
know, man. We could go up 2-0.
Yeah, but even then,
we could have you right where we want you.
but even then, Gerald Green's gonna come out of retirement and he's gonna give you guys nightmares again.
Kobe White's gonna get banged up after the second game.
I just like the
Man.
Bulls' cast of defensive weapons to throw at Atlanta's backcourt. Javonte Green,
That's
Caruso,
Javonte's
Javon
gonna
Carter.
Beast.
He's
I don't even
amazing.
know, but we don't know if Javonte Green's going to be playing like
He's gonna be a
actual
beast.
minutes.
He's gonna play 25, and he's gonna be a beast.
No, but I did acknowledge the defense is the whole thing but the Bulls haven't necessarily been good at defense this season, but like they have the defensive weapons to do it, and they have Drummond off the bench. Like that's what I thought when I looked at this team with Carter, Craig off the bench, and Drummond, and then your starting lineup you're assuming is probably gonna be White, Caruso, DeRozan, Vooch. I guess if you continue to start Green, because if you want to roll with it, but I mean, I think it's a coin flip. This is the coin flip game. It depends
Wow.
on what side of the bed they wake up tomorrow.
Wolves by 1,000,000, Sixers by a
And Grayson
million.
Allen extension.
Yeah, I saw that. So let's.
Duke
I guess
continues to win.
He's been pretty good this year. So
what is it? Where's the extension? 4 years, 70
4 years,
million.
$70 million. He's been pretty good this year. So
Yeah, very, very well.
very good in a
deserved.
contract year.
I think
surprised he's staying with the Suns, but
well, because it's best spot for him right now.
yeah, I'm just surprised that he didn't wait until somebody else came with a higher bid in free agency. But
I feel like this good deal.
no, it's a good deal for him.
Isn't there no income tax in Arizona?
Nope.
Nope is in like nope, like yeah, or nope is in nope.
Nope is in Texas and Florida are the only states with no income tax.
And Washington.
Yeah, but not fucking.
Well, no, I think so I found this out when I was looking up at this for. So there's no income tax states, but then there's states like Washington that they're basically no income tax states, but like very little income. Like same thing with like Delaware. Like okay, so right here.
Yeah.
No, there is more states. I'm about to put a graph up on the board. Look at this shit. How do I show this?
Oh yeah, fucking Alaska.
Alaska, Texas,
Fucking Alaska,
Tennessee,
like South Dakota, right?
Tennessee,
South
South
Dakota,
Dakota,
right?
Wyoming, Washington, Nevada,
Yeah.
all no income tax. New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, because New Hampshire has New Hampshire also New Hampshire is like a little high. Like what do they have? They have a little higher sales tax, but they don't have income
Yeah.
tax.
That's how Delaware is. Oh no, Delaware doesn't have any tax. I don't even fucking know. I think they just have income tax. There's no sale tax in Delaware. But then
Like
there's
Minnesota.
others. Yeah, Minnesota's like that. See, but that's why their income tax is so high. They have no sales tax, but like fucking 10%.
Yeah. Whereas New Hampshire is like the goat. They don't have both.
Yeah. But then there's states like Indiana where it's like 3 or North Dakota where it's like dumb cheap. That's why like you'll sometimes see rich people like set up camp there.
And there's also like you got to think there's different level, like there's different taxes.
Indiana's also a very beautiful state with a lot of redeeming qualities.
Ooh, that's news to me.
I like
Aaron. I was just ragging on your team.
I like it. Indiana. I would live in Indianapolis,
Spurs?
but like after like living like moving back down to the beach, like near the beach, I just wouldn't live anywhere but the coast. Like
No, that's fair. That's fair. All right, boys. I think I'm gonna
you
go
gotta go to
head out to
class.
class. Yep. I'll see y'all later.
L'chaim.
Peace.
So yeah. All right, let's run through these NBA awards. I think these are
Doncic, MVP.
Are we done with playoffs and playoff bracket?
yeah, we won't do the predictions for the playoffs until that's set in like a couple days.
Got you. I must run.
You're good. Ciao. All right, let's go ahead and let's do our little predictions for. I think it's pretty obvious. Who do you think is winning MVP?
Luka.
Wow, you're on the Luka. I want Luka, but I think they're gonna give it to Jokic.
Oh, that would be so lame.
I know. I want Shea, TBH. I think
Yeah.
Shea's deserving of it.
I think Luka's got such a nice, not such a nice case.
I agree to win it.
Yeah.
It's just such a difficult season.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
And yeah, no. Okay, sweet. I just got an email that I was looking at. But yeah, I think when I look at Defensive Player of the Year, they're doing Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama, obviously, if he wasn't a rookie, would probably win it. And then Coach of the Year, we're doing Mark Dagnall of the Thunder, right? Sixth Man of the Year, Malik Monk. And then I would go what? MVP, we got Jokic, Shea, or Luka. Any of those three would be cool. Coach of the Year, Mark. Sixth Man, Malik. Rookie of the Year, Wemby. Defensive, Rudy. Pretty straightforward, I think. And yeah, I think we're very incredibly blessed to have such good basketball in our lives right now. As sometimes I am mind blown that the way this season has turned out in terms of how it's evolved, and we talked about at the beginning of the show that it's definitely the most unexpected or like unpredictable season I've ever been a part of, and I think that's the wildest part. So for me, I think when we look at the way that this season has gone, especially in terms of, you know, I don't even know, like in terms of like how at the beginning of the year we thought Chet was going to be the rookie of the year. Now Wemby, defensive player of the year. I don't think a lot of people thought Rudy Gobert was going to be that guy, but he was. So I think that was the coolest part. What do you think in retrospect, looking back on this season? What's your thoughts?
I didn't watch much basketball. I don't really find as much joy watching NBA basketball anymore. I
Really?
used to, yeah.
Why is that?
There's so many fouls.
The fouls have
I
actually
just
been cut down this year.
it just really reduces my attention span on the game.
I can understand that. But is there who's your rookie of the year?
Victor Wembanyama,
Defensive player of the year?
Rudy Gobert.
Coach of the year?
Mm,
I'm going Thunder coach, Mark Dagnall.
Sure. I'd go
Uh,
Ime Udoka.
That's the easy answer. I mean, that's a good choice. I feel like he'd win it next year if they
Yeah.
make the playoffs.
Coach of the year can't be the 11th seed.
And for you, what at this point, who's your favorite to win the championship?
The Denver Nuggets.
That's a safe bet, dude.
Unfortunately, I really worry about Minnesota's first matchup against Phoenix, and OKC worries me in general. And if they play, I think if they play the Lakers or the Warriors, they're screwed.
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be a tough one.
I do think Dallas and the Clippers, I think they could.
They're both
I
dark
wouldn't be
horses.
surprised if one of those two teams makes it. I think one of those two teams will make the Western Conference Finals, Dallas or the Clippers.
I agree with that. That's how I feel about I agree with that with Dallas and the Clippers. And then I feel like either the Heat or the Knicks are going to be the team that comes out next to the Celtics. Like, what?
I'm so on the fence with New York. I'm out on Miami, but you can never be out on Miami.
You can never.
I'd probably go Boston. I'd go Boston, Bucks. I think I'm going to throw Indiana at 3, actually, over the Knicks. I think Indiana could go deeper than New York.
Mm-hmm.
I think Indiana just has so much high upside. I think
Indiana
they have so much upside.
Indiana does have hella upside. So much upside.
Like if they take down Milwaukee, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they take down Milwaukee, I think they'll make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I agree. But
yeah,
I just can't. I don't see Milwaukee. They said the Giannis's status is questionable already for game 1.
Yeah, he would. That's how it was last year. It is definitely reason to be concerned. But they do have Dame now. But yeah, I mean, they're so loaded at the top. I can't count them out. I'd go Milwaukee over New York though.
Oh, you're that confident on it?
Yeah, I don't feel don't feel great about Knicks Tate. I guess their first round matchup will.
They're 20-3 with OG Anunoby in the starting lineup.
I think they'll definitely get out of the first round. It'll be
Pacers have the
interesting.
better chance than New York. I mean, I do like the Pacers. They're a deep team. They could. I think anybody can go out in the East. That's the crazy part about this season, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, imagine Boston plays like Miami and Miami knocks them round one.
Yeah, I mean, Boston could literally, Orlando could be the team that plays Boston in the West.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that's
not technically, because Orlando's the 5th seed.
Oh yeah, but like you get what I meant though. Like
Yeah.
I think this is like one of the most wide open years we've had in.
Orlando is sneaker against Cleveland, man. I would have to go Orlando over Cleveland. I just cannot believe Cleveland until I see it. It just can't happen. But I mean, Orlando's the same way. They're even worse because they're that young and they're that inexperienced. Cleveland always worries me.
Yeah,
Mitchell.
I think Cleveland's another one that really could come out, and Cleveland's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're a good team. Big bodies.
Yeah.
Mitchell pulls a bubble. Yeah. That's going to be everyone's talking about Indiana, Milwaukee, and Dallas.
So are we agreeing though?
The Clippers. I think Orlando, Cleveland is a great first round matchup to watch.
Yeah. Are we saying that Cleveland and the Pacers are the two teams that we think could shock people?
I can't buy it on Cleveland, but I do think Indiana is on there. I wish Indiana got New York round one.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think
so much size. Milwaukee's got size.
They got so much size.
They got length. Get this fucking net out of here.
One second, sending a message. I got, but
yeah, Cavs in the playoffs. They were. It just worries me. But Orlando is a good first round matchup for Cleveland.
I think for me, Boston, they're huge. Okay, so let's say if it is the Nuggets versus Boston, or the Nuggets versus the Heat, or whoever, if the Celtics make it to the finals, or do you think they can beat anybody in the finals or no?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Do you think it's unlikely?
No, I don't. I think it's rather likely. I think it's expected in the city of Boston and in the locker room. It's just a great team.
They are a really good squad, and they've been able to just show that. I think for them, the biggest thing is just being able to build that depth and just be one of the better defensive teams, as well as being one of the better offensive teams, just like complete all the way around. And then they also have Kristaps Porzingis because that need the size.
Yeah, KP is underrated.
Yeah, KP's so underrated.
Yeah.
I don't even know how like people aren't bought into KP. I love Kristaps Porzingis. Been a huge fan of his for his entire career.
Yeah. I'm getting booed on draft night.
Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. How times have changed with our European basketball players.
Let's go ahead and do Pirtle.
Yep. Matt Barnes.
That did like Matt Barnes. We could say Matt Ryan. He's Zach Collins. Or it's Jacques Landau.
I don't think Zach Collins is that old. Oh, yeah, I do like Jock. It's definitely Jock. Yeah, nice.
We all know our Aussies. How much do you like Jacques now that he was actually good for you guys to finish?
I never didn't. I hate Jock.
Like, look at this.
He didn't really have a role. Can't really get going without a role.
Literally, look at the first half of the season. 9 minutes a night to start the season. Second half of the season, bro, he was playing 18, putting up 8 and 4, 2 assists a night, bro. He was putting out almost a block a game while shooting 36 from 3 on 1 attempt a night and 60% on 5 attempts from the field.
As a
Jock.
starter, 18 points.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I like Jock.
I love Jock. What have you been up to?
Nothing much, really. Out of the off season, a lot of beach.
Feel that I'm like right now ramping up all the off season and the playoff videos and just so much content going on right now. It just seems like it's never ending.
Yeah, the playoffs are crazy. I think that's what lost me my spark for the NBA last year. I would try to watch every single game, every single night. It was so bad. Hop on the stream the next day.
Yeah, no, completely.
So I'll enjoy it from a nice casual perspective this year.
I just think
Is that going to be this weekend or is it next
what
week?
what
First round.
playoffs this
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, I just don't want Denver to win it all. I mean, if Denver wins it all, then that would be cool. But I do love a good dynasty in the making, but I'm a little salty from the sweep last year against the Lakers. I'd like to see him go down.
What?
The Nuggets.
I do want to see the Nuggets go down, but it would be insane if the Mavericks make the playoffs and it's like 2020, you know, I mean, not 2020, like what's 2022 when they made it?
Yeah. Final year college. I think it's really cool that Dallas or the Clippers are just gonna make like they're set in stone to make the second round. I do get a kick out of that. Same thing with like Orlando and Cleveland. I think that's very cool. One of those two teams is making the second round. That kind of reminds me of like the Knicks last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing is that like I think it's just wild how this NBA season is gone. It's a crapshoot, bro. It's a crapshoot how this is gone. That's all. I don't even know. You got anything else you want to talk about? I'm done.
No. Paid taxes.
Yeah, I did my taxes yesterday.
Nice. Down the wire.
Yeah, it was down the wire. I got $200 back though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I wrote off $13,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, from traveling.
Yes.
All right, bud. I'll talk to you later. Come visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.